Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video and another episode of Mix Set Monday. This is the series where you guys submit any awesome mix sets you've been working on, and then each week I pick a few of my favourites and showcase them in these episodes, with full credit going to you, of course. Last week we had a pretty awesome high damage greatsword set and an anti-Kirin set for those of you that have trouble taking on that tempered HR49 quest. But this week we're turning our attention to the dual blades and hunting horn, plus there's a bonus set this week. A lot of you guys were asking me what my Gunlance set was in the most recent weapon workshop, so I decided to include that at the end of this week's episode. So if you do enjoy this video, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and if you want to submit your own set for a future episode, then stick around to the end of the video for full details on how you can do so. Now, first up this week, we have a really awesome dual blade set from ZELDAHUNTR submitted in the Arekkz Gaming Discord. ZELDAHUNTR is also an amazing artist, so if you guys want to check out some of his awesome art, I've left a link to his Twitter in the description box down below. But the dual blade set he submitted makes really good use of two rather potent set bonuses, and when everything is active, you have a set that can land crits 100% of the time and never lose sharpness. It's comprised of the Wrath Helm Beta for level 1 critical boost, the Rathlos Mail Beta for level 2 weakness exploit, the Kaiser Van Braces for an extra point in weakness exploit, and in this instance, it honestly doesn't matter whether you use the Alpha or the Beta gloves. Alpha will result in one extra unnecessary point in weakness exploit, but since you can't really do much else, it really doesn't make a difference here. So provided you have either Alpha or Beta Kaiser arms, you're fine. You then need the Kaiser Coil Beta for level 2 blast attack, and the Kaiser Greaves Alpha for level 2 latent power and one final point in blast attack. The charm is the Master's Charm 3 for 3 points in critical eye, and the weapon of choice are the Fire and Ice dual blades, since these have ice and blast element plus 10% affinity. Then on the decoration front, you're going to want 4 expert dual 1s and 2 critical dual 2s. In this instance, the only thing that I'm missing are the critical duals. I've been super unlucky, and they're the one decoration I still can't seem to get. But you can see the whole thing assembled here from ZELDAHUNTR's screenshots. With all of this in place, you'll firstly have 2 set bonuses active, the Teostra Technique, which prevents your weapon from losing sharpness during critical hits, and since this set is all about pushing your affinity to 100%, when everything is active and all your hits are critting, this set bonus will mean your weapon sharpness will not decrease. On top of that, you have critical element from the 2-piece Rathalos set bonus, increasing your elemental damage when landing critical hits, and again, you're going to be doing that a lot. Then as for the armor skills, you have level 7 critical eye, increasing your affinity by 30%, meaning by default you have a very respectable 40% affinity. You have blast attack level 3, which increases the rate of blast build-up, good for the blast portion of your dual blades. Weakness exploit level 3 for a further 50% affinity when hitting weak spots. Latent power level 2, giving you 20% affinity increase and 10% stamina reduction when certain conditions are met. And for those of you wondering, those certain conditions are either that you've taken 180 points of damage or you've been in combat for 5 minutes. And then finally, critical boost level 3. It's worth noting the wording on this skill is incorrect. It says it increases damage dealt by a percentage, but it should say to a percentage. So level 3 increases damage dealt to 40%. By default, a critical hit does 125% damage, so critical boost level 3 means your critical hits do 140% damage. Then to round things out, you'll also want to augment your weapon for affinity, but with all this in place, when everything is active, you can reach 100% affinity, meaning that every single hit is a crit, and thanks to Teostra Technique, that also means your weapon sharpness won't deplete. But even if you're not quite at 100%, you'll still be getting crits pretty frequently, so even sub 100, there is great value in this set. So all up, a very nice combination, and really awesome to see 2 set bonuses in one set. Now, moving on from here, the next set is for the Horn, and this comes from Sepharend, also submitted on Discord. Sepharend is an awesome Monster Hunter streamer. If you guys haven't checked out his streams, then I've left a link to his channel down below too. He put together a support Horn set, but support in a different way. He wanted to make a set that can benefit your team, whilst also encouraging you to dive in and attack the monster. After all, Hunting Horn is a weapon as well, and good use of the Hunting Horn will see people using it in combat whilst fighting the monster, not hiding in the corner playing song buffs while their team do the fighting. Also bonus points for this set because it uses the new Wiggler helmet that you can get from the event quests, so I kind of had to feature this one, right? It's comprised of the Wiggler Helm Alpha for level 2 wide range, and if you want to get this helmet for yourself, I've left a link to my video down below detailing the event. the Legiana Male Beta for level 2 evade window, the Kushala Grip Beta for a further 2 points in evade window, the Uragan Coil Beta for level 1 Part Breaker, and the Diablos Greaves Alpha for level 2 Tremor Resistance and level 1 Slugger. You're then going to want the Breaker Charm for another point in Part Breaker, and in this instance, Sephiroth is running this with the Basil Raid Rookslayer Horn. You'll then want 1 Evasion Duel 2, 2 KO Duel 2s, 3 Friendship Duel 1s, 1 Destroyer Duel 2, and a Sonorous Duel 1. All up, this will then give you level 5 evade window, massively increasing your invulnerability window when evading, good if you're going to be up in the monster's face attacking, which you should be with this set. Level 5 wide range, allowing the items you use to benefit your team in a much wider radius with full efficacy. Level 3 Part Breaker, giving you a bonus 30% part damage, so for breaking horns or faces, this is great. Level 3 Slugger, since you're going to be focusing on the head and the horn is an impact type weapon, so this gives you a bonus 30% stun power. Also you have Tremor Resistance level 2 to nullify minor ground tremors and reduce the effects of major tremors. And finally, Horn Maestro, which increases the effect duration of hunting horn melodies and increases health recovery. So, all up, with this combined, you can support and buff your team as you always would do with the hunting horn, but thanks to wide range, your items, be that potions or buffs, can benefit your team too, and you have some useful skills that encourage you to dive in and attack the monster instead of just sitting on the sidelines, buffing your team. And finally, the last set. This is the set I've been running with and was the set that I used in my Gunlance weapon workshop. Strictly speaking, this isn't just a Gunlance set. In fact, this set can be used by any weapon. You'd simply swap out a couple of pieces depending on the weapon that you're using. I've mentioned before that I like experimenting with different playstyles that don't always focus around stacking max attack boost, weakness exploit, crit boost, etc. And this set is just a lot of fun to use. It's a regen set that allows you to be a little bit more reckless in combat, since the healing perk keeps you topped up in the process. Pair that with a health augment on your weapon. You also have some more aggressive regen options, and in truth, with this set, I very rarely use potions or healing items in quests unless I take a massive hit and want to just be safe. Generally speaking, most of my healing is done by the set and my attacks. Also, I finally got a Valhazak gem, so I've swapped the set around a tiny bit since my tutorial to make it a little bit better, but it's comprised of the Dragon King Eye Patch Alpha for level 2 weakness exploits, the Valhazak Male Beta for recovery speed level 2, the Valhazak Braces Beta for peak performance level 1, the Valhazak Coil Beta for another point in peak performance, and the Kushala Cross Beta for 2 points in evade extender. Then, since I'm using a normal type Gunlance and I focus on shelling a lot, I have a max artillery charm giving me level 3 artillery, but if you wanted to use this set with another weapon, you could simply swap this for something more applicable, perhaps a standard attack charm or something else entirely. And as mentioned, I'm using the Royal Burst Gunlance. It's a normal type Gunlance and I've augmented it with health. Ideally I would run 2 health augments on this, but since I'm still missing some stream stones, I just have 1 for the time being. On the decoration front, I've then got 1 Recovery Duel 1, 3 Medicine Duel 1s, 4 Expert Duel 1s, a Tenderizer Duel 2, and a Flawless Duel 2. All up, this then gives me the Valhazak Super Recovery Set bonus, which allows recovery to exceed the red portion of the health gauge. By default, your health normally regens just the red portion, and you then need potions beyond that point, but Valhazak perk will regenerate all your life bar over time. This also synergizes with the recovery up armor skill, but not the recovery speed, but I'll touch on that in a second. You get Critical Eye level 4 for 15% affinity, but in truth, this is really a bonus skill. I just threw it in because I had spare level 1 gem slots. There is an alternative version of this set where you can throw Vitality gems in instead to give you even more health, so if you get hit a lot and want something to help you survive, you might want to consider that. You then have Recovery Up level 3. This increases the amount recovered when restoring health, and this does stack with Valhazak. It is however worth noting that this only takes effect after the red portion has been recovered. Once that's healed and the Valhazak perk kicks in, that is where the synergy happens. Recovery speed, on the other hand, this speeds up the healing of the recoverable damage. So having these two together, it means you recover the red damage faster, in turn allowing the Valhazak perk to kick in sooner. On top of that, you have Weakness Exploit level 3, increasing the affinity of attacks that hit weak spots by 50%. Keep in mind, for the Gunlance, this only applies to your melee attacks, not your shells. You then have Peak Performance level 3, which gives you a bonus 20 attack when your health is full, and given that the Val bonus keeps healing you, you'll actually be at full health a lot of the time, so you will get a good deal of value out of this skill. Artillery level 3 is here purely because I use my shells in my Gunlance, but again, if you use this with another weapon, you can swap this out. And Evade Extender, in truth, I would rather have run Dodogama Legs here for capacity boost, but since I needed a level 2 gem slot, I took these instead. Evade Extender is nice for Gunlance, it gives me more distance on my side hops, so it's definitely a useful skill, and also is something that can be used by many different weapons. But all up, when you pair this all together, I regenerate health when attacking, thanks to the health augment, and also when I'm not attacking, thanks to the Valhazak perk. And I gain bonus attack when I'm at full health, which happens most of the time, so not only is this a great set for survival, but you still have some nice damage options in here too. And honestly, this has fast become one of my favourite sets just because it allows me to play a little bit more recklessly and just heal through any incoming damage. So if you're having trouble with a particular monster, and maybe you're getting hit a lot, you might want to consider trying this out because it might just help keep you alive. But that, my friends, is pretty much it. Those are the sets for this week. Thanks to everyone that submitted them. If you'd like to submit a set for yourself for an upcoming episode, then you can either send me that to the Mix Set Monday email that you see on screen and linked down below, or you can post your set in the Mix Set submission thread on the Arekkz Gaming Discord, also linked down below. Be sure to send screenshots of the gear page and the decoration page, and tab over to show your skills so that I know what you need to make it, what decorations you use, and what skills it has. You can also send this in text format if you prefer, but include all of that, and I'll check it out for a future episode. But until the next one, thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.